of Delightful Humans. I'm Shannon Townsend.
And I'm Richard Townsend.
And you are tuned into the Married Marks podcast, where we talk about the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the greatest, and occasionally the worst of professional graps news from around the globe. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that you're here. We hope you stick around for a whole lot more. But if it is not your first rodeo, you know how this goes. We love you extra hard. Whether this is your first time or your 137th, do us a favor, like, subscribe, leave a comment on whatever site or app you are tuned in on today. It would help elevate our profile and would do us a huge solid. We are part of the Inside Joke Outside Voice podcast network. You can learn more about them at ijov.net and check out our hashtag Podern Family. Shout out to Genius Pie for the Married Marks theme song. Check them out on Twitter at Genius Pie for all of your geeky music needs. And we'd love to hear from you, dear listeners. Yes, you are the reason we keep going. So hit us up. Follow us on Twitter at Married Marks. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and all of the social media platforms. The same name, at Married Marks, or you can drop us an email. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode or any other episode you've listened to. If you have a strong opinion about wrestling, hit us up. Married Marks Pod, that's P-O-D, at gmail.com. Use your words, people. Hello, baby.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
I feel like I should apologize in advance to our listener base for
Don't
today.
Don't apologize. It's Treat Yourself Day.
It is, okay, so today, if you are unaware, for those of you who haven't watched Parks and Rec, which, by the way, what are you doing with your lives if you haven't watched Parks and Rec? Today, October 13th, every year, is a day in which you must treat yourself. It's Treat Yourself Day. We have been very busy today. We did a lot of work. We cleaned our entire garage, which has been pretty much a disaster since we moved in.
Yeah.
It's been really bad.
Some of the boxes from when we moved in were still there, unbroken down.
Mm-hmm. So we were outside. And if you're not aware, Minnesota is an interesting place to live because sometimes, at the very beginning of October, it likes to snow. Yep, it likes to snow.
We got all 4 literal seasons
in one day.
In 5 days.
Oh, I was going to say in one day, because today it was like...
Earlier in the week, on Monday and Tuesday, it got up into the high 70s. Hell, it almost hit 80.
Mm-hmm.
Then, it went from summer to fall.
For like 2 days.
And then we got spring, so it was rainy and cool.
Which was nice. It wasn't terrible.
And then it went right to winter on Friday when it started snowing.
Yeah. And it was like, I mean, let's be fair. It has not, oh God, my chest is like, okay, we're eating milkshakes. We're getting to that. Which is why I'm like, I need to really work and make sure this is not like Married Marks do ASMR eating milkshakes. Cause like, no, don't. Cause like, fuck no. I hate wet mouth sounds. Don't do it.
I'm eating a milkshake.
It's got bananas and malt powder.
It's really good.
It's delightful. It's thick and creamy.
Yeah.
Stop it. Anyway, so we've been putting off cleaning our garage for eons because we did a lot of like home improvement-y stuff this summer with the house and the yard and, you know, added things. We're trying to beautify and like up the property value, which is something you do when you have a freaking house. And plotting projects for next year. We just never got around to it. And then Friday, I'm sitting up in we have a room that I literally turned into a walk-in closet and vanity room for myself. Cause I know, peak basic bitch.
No. This room was too small to use as a room.
It was a nursery for the previous owners.
The room is like 5 feet wide.
It's bigger than 5 feet.
Not much.
It was a little bigger than 5 feet.
I can almost lay down and touch both walls.
Okay, wait.
So it's about 6 feet.
If you lay, like, window side, yeah, but, like, lengthwise, it's longer.
No, wide, not length. Width.
Well, whatever.
Wide.
Anyway, TLDR. I turned this room into, like, a fancy-ass, like, Shannon get-ready room. And, excuse me, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to get ready for a show on Friday night that I'm doing zombie makeup. And it went from super calm to like this crazy gust of like 30-mile-an-hour wind that was blowing shit all over our yard. And then it just went crazy and it started snowing. And I'm like, what is even happening? What is even happening? So... Sorry, there's a lot of feline intervention happening today. As much as I love that Marty and Sarah like tweeted about us the other day because I love them to pieces, I was like, some days with all these fucking cats, I feel like we are totally coming for their gimmick. So if you're here because Marty and Sarah tweeted about us, thanks for swinging by. We don't have the joy of Gerbert, which is the downside. We don't have Gerbert. That said, anyway, so yeah, we were outside today working in the garage, and it was very cold, and then it started raining, and then it started sleeting, and like by the time we were done, the garage looks amazing, like it's all set for winter, which makes me very happy because now we don't have to worry about digging out the snowblower or finding a place to put the salts and all that other garbage. But yeah, I was very cold. I don't know about you, but I was chilled.
Yes.
Like, I was cold.
So, we're eating milkshakes.
We're eating milkshakes because it's the most sensible Minnesotan thing to do. To be fair, I am in a very long, fuzzy sweater, and I've been wearing a hat for the last, I've been wearing my super fuzzy winter, snood style hat. So... picture that as you will. To be fair, we did go out to dinner and we had really warm soup and hot tea and chicken pot pie to warm ourselves up. Because that's something that we do. And then we were like, we want dessert. Let's get milkshakes.
Worth it.
Worth it. But remember, that's what you do on Treat Yourself Day. I wanted to go get pedicures today. That just was not in the cards. We'll go do that on a weeknight. It's quiet. It's quieter at the salon on a weeknight anyway. It's when I like to go.
So...
we should probably talk about wrestling on this wrestling podcast, huh?
What?
I mean, I don't give a shit. You want me to sit here and talk about My Little Pony for an hour? I'll do it.
No.
I'll do it.
No.
We'll lose all of our listener base.
Yes.
I bet no. There's got to be at least one MLP fan out there.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Listening to our fan base. Or you talk about Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
That would be cool, too.
Or we could go on a tangent like Mabim Bam did and talk about Mars 2112 for 10 minutes, which was the weirdest, most surreal 10 minutes of my freaking life because I worked there when I was younger and literally just did nothing but tweet at the McElroys for 10 minutes laughing my ass off. All right. Well, we had an interesting week an interesting few days in professional wrestling. There were some developments since we last recorded, which was Thursday evening for Friday's episode, where we talked primarily about AEW and NXT because we wanted to kind of cover both shows last week and see how things progress. But Friday night, began lots of craziness.
Yeah. So let's actually talk about... what our Sunday show is supposed to be about. Let's talk about New Japan.
Yeah, let's definitely start there.
We're going to talk about Japan, because Japan this weekend suffered quite a huge typhoon. A Category 5 typhoon basically enveloped 90% of Japan.
Yeah. So for those of you who aren't aware, aside from being a huge New Japan married couple, Mark nerd situation in this house, we used to actually work as Richard was a writer and I was an artist, and we worked primarily in the anime industry because my style was very manga influenced at the time. Because of that, we had a lot of friends who worked in the industry. We have friends that are voice actors. We have friends that are producers and folks that would travel back and forth. We used to know a ton of vendors who would get their supplies from over there. So, Japan has literally been a very deep part of our lives for years. The fact that we haven't gone yet is kind of a travesty. We're hoping to plan our trip for about maybe 4 years down the road. 3-4 years. That's our goal. But that said, we have a lot of friends who live over there. And we have numerous friends that have kind of gone over there for various reasons, be it, the JET program, and other, miscellaneous, most of our friends went over to teach English.
Yeah.
And just never came home. Our friend Kevin, went there,
Never came
met
back.
a girl, fell in love, got married, accidentally studied tea ceremony, which is an adorable story.
Accidentally.
And it's a really great story. Someday maybe we'll have him on the podcast and he can tell that story himself because it's real cute. Yeah, but he like had kids and just never came home. My cousin Steven is a mixed martial arts fighter and decided to move to Japan because he used to work with the Navy. And then when he got out of the service, he was doing contract work with the Navy. He met a girl, didn't work out, decided to stick around for just a little bit longer, met another girl, met the love of his life, had kids, and decided never to come back. I think the only time he's really come back for an extended amount of time was after the tsunamis back in 2011. And that was just because he didn't want his family. He lived like they were pretty close to the worst of everything. They were north of Tokyo, so they weren't in like Sendai or anything like that. Like there was some distance, but like the tsunami hit really close to his house. He was a few blocks away, so it wasn't that bad, but the houses on the beachfront where he lived were just totaled. Like they were gone. He actually had told me like, I've never been happier that we didn't buy the house that we were initially going to buy. Because like had they bought the house they had first looked at right on the beach, it would have been completely a wash. And then because he did contract work, he wound up going back and he was doing volunteer work cleaning up around Fukushima Daiichi because he could, I don't know how it worked, but like he had the clearance to do so. And he just went quiet for a while. But yeah, like our friends Sam and Chris live there. Yeah, whatever. We have a lot of friends there. So we keep up on a lot of stuff that goes down in Japan very closely. And I just want to like say before we report on the rest of this, I am irritated as hell with American media for not covering Typhoon Hagibis as
seriously.
like at all. It's ridiculous. The fact that I have had to get the majority of my news from like NHK World, which is fine because it's usually where I go to for my Japanese news anyway, and like Japan Today, and also following Teeny Cat, following like all of the vloggers that we follow, because I follow a ton of Japanese vloggers, because like I love the culture there and I'm really kind of obsessed with it, and like the fact that I've had to literally be glued to Simon and Martina for the last 3 days and relying on Karen.
Yeah, at Karen Nerds Out on Twitter.
Yeah.
Who spent a majority of the day Saturday translating tweet after tweet after tweet about what was going on in Japan.
When we get to the end of this story, I want to shout something out in regard to Karen too, but let's get to the nitty gritty of like how this typhoon affected Japan and New Japan, because it was looking real dicey for a little bit, wasn't it?
Well, the King of Pro Wrestling event did actually happen.
Yeah.
The typhoon had shuffled off quickly enough.
Did Ospreay manage to get on a flight? Because I know that was a struggle.
Know.
Like there were talent that were trying to get to Japan.
I have not seen the results yet because we didn't watch it today because we were busy.
Yeah, we will be watching it though this week, so we'll see how that pans out.
The only thing that was really canceled and was postponed only was an autograph session at the NJPW shop.
Okay.
And that just got postponed to October 19th.
Oh, okay.
But the dojo flooded. The New Japan
pretty
dojo
heavily.
Flooded. But today they were out there and cleaning it up and getting it all squared away. Mm-hmm. So.
Also, on top of this typhoon, there were 2 earthquakes that hit at the same time.
And a tornado.
And a tornado in Chiba Prefecture. So it was like, there were people that live there that have lived there for years that were like, we literally feel like we're just living in an action movie right now and we don't know what's happening. This is terrifying. What is happening?
Yeah.
And the sky was like this vivid shade of purple. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I am so grateful that like, it could have been worse. I'm grateful that it wasn't worse. Because as it stands right now, there are, I think, 35 people dead. There's a ton of people that are missing because the flood waters were just so quick. And it's terrifying to think of everything that these poor people have had to endure. Nagano took pretty much a direct hit. So yeah, Japan got slammed with this typhoon. And I'm very grateful that like New Japan's dojo is kind of being cleaned out and everything is probably going to be back to normal. A lot of their talent was tweeting about things live. Like Shibata was tweeting about it. Because he was there like initially like years and years and years ago when it flooded way back in the day, and he was like freaking out. We have to acknowledge Minoru Suzuki for having the best tweets during this whole thing, because he was just pissed. Yeah, he was just mad. He's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, basically that was his tweets. He was like legit angry. So like Minoru Suzuki is how I would be in a natural disaster. Like, he was mad at the earthquake. He was literally, like, bitch tweeting about the earthquakes. He's like, are you fucking kidding? Are you fucking kidding right now? Craziness. So, I'm grateful that everything is okay. To that note, I want to give a shout out because we've had Karen from Karen Nerds Out on the podcast many, many times. For her to spend the time yesterday and the emotional labor to be consistently translating tweets and, doing all of the work she was doing, because she's lived there and she has friends there. It was an incredibly difficult day for her. And she spent a lot of emotional labor and personal time to translate things and communicate with people and try to keep the wrestling community apprised of what was going on. So I want to say, this was tremendously hard emotional labor for her. And if you would consider, she has a fund up right now to try and help her get to Wrestle Kingdom next year. It would be awesome if you are willing and able and you'd like to donate to her funds to help her get to Wrestle Kingdom. This is a great way to pay it forward for her emotional labor. And she's too nice to post any of this. Mm-hmm. She's too nice to ask for it. And I personally think she deserves to be, spending emotional labor is a thing. It's really, really hard. And I think it would be really great if people were willing to help her out. So if you go to KarenNerdsOut.com and you check out the page, she's got a couple of different ways to get there. She does have a donation on PayPal or Cash App, or you can support her via coffee as well. So check her out, KarenNerdsOut.com. Go help our girl get to Wrestle Kingdom and say thank you for keeping the wrestling community apprised and up to date during a really, really scary national emergency for Japan and for a lot of talent from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So now, with that said, let's go on and talk about what happened Friday night on SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown was interesting this week, huh?
So, I don't know where to go with this. We didn't actually watch, so everything we're getting is secondhand information and information
clips that we've watched,
from clips and whatnot. I would say the highlight of the evening was Bayley.
There are so many kids that are heartbroken right now, though.
Yeah, well...
Ooh. And okay. I regret that I have to say this. I am going to lean into this and congratulate whoever is working the Twitter account for Fox in relation to the WWE tweets, because they are fucking genius and hilariously funny. Like, they posted this like in memoriam of the wild card rule.
Yeah.
And they were like, they shared a video of some kid crying his poor little eyes out about Bayley. They were like, us too, kid, us too. Like, I'm sorry, it's very good. They deserve a little bit of props. But yeah, Bayley, we finally got the heel turn that we've been asking for ages. She came out, and it was kind of hard to tell that anything was different with her hair until she like kind of shook it out. And she just stood there, and all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, her hair was darker and it was shorter. And she picks up this, like, I don't know if it was a pipe or what it frickin' was, but like, she beat the ever-loving shit out of the Bayley buddies. Mm-hmm. Like, ripped them to shreds, threw their little air compressors off the stage. I was just like, oh my God. Praise be that Izzy's old enough that it like probably didn't make her sob, because like Jesus, it was emotional. Yeah, it was an emotional moment.
So it was the draft.
Yes,
and we spoke about the draft on the Friday show about how it was going down, what the rules were, and interesting and dumb at the same time. So
we knew there was going to be some stupid.
So the draft was decided who got to pick first by match. It was Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. You would think that they would actually have a clean finish for this, but oh no.
But no.
No, we had to have a DQ finish because The Fiend apparently came up through the ring. He came up underneath the ring, through the ring, and pulled Seth Rollins under. So Seth won by DQ. So therefore, Raw got the first pick.
Why all the weird finishes lately? Like, why? Is it just because it's like, I know they're trying to just be entertaining and they're trying to like change it up and it's, I get it. I just like, it's weird. It's a weird choice, but okay.
So because of that, we had the first round of picks, and it was weird because apparently there was like draft battle rooms for Fox and for USA, and Fox had like the NFL on Fox robot in the room.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That I didn't see. It's such a weird choice. Like, can we acknowledge that some of this shit is just bizarre? Because it's weird.
So, the number one overall pick was Becky Lynch.
Not a real shocker there.
So, Becky Lynch will be staying on Raw. The Fiend is joining SmackDown. Roman Reigns stays on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre stays on Raw. And the OC, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles all stay on Raw. Because the rule was you could take a tag team and the whole team counts as one. Which is really funny because USA drafted Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss separately.
Yeah.
I mean, are they not a tag team anymore now that they don't have the belts?
No. I mean, like, the big thing is that, like, from what I've read, they will not be.
They are no longer a tag team?
That's what I've seen.
Okay.
Now, admittedly, that's, like, a lot of blogs and speculation and people that are... It might be based on assumption, but, like, it looks to me like that tag team is done.
Okay.
Which, I don't know how to feel about it. I know some people that really enjoyed them as a tag team and were really enjoying what they were doing with Nikki. I don't think I'm one of those people, but I respect their opinions. So we'll see what happens.
Yep, and then the second round, Randy Orton is on Raw, Sasha Banks is on SmackDown, Ricochet is on Raw, Braun Strowman is on SmackDown, and Bobby Lashley is on Raw.
Okay.
Why is Bobby Lashley a top 10 pick?
That was going to be my question.
I could probably come up with 10 wrestlers who had not been picked by the time Bobby Lashley was.
Yeah.
That could have been picked.
Yeah.
I mean, Kofi, just to start.
Yeah.
Shinsuke, Kevin Owens. I mean, Finn Balor technically is now on NXT. They even moved him over on the website to NXT's roster.
Well, KO is going, he tweeted about this.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else? Samoa Joe.
Yeah, KO's on Raw.
Hell, I'd put King Corbin before I would put Bobby Lashley. Cesaro. I mean, whatever. It's
actually, dumb. KO's tweet about it was kind of fun. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
He said, last night, the WWE digital team asked me for my thoughts after I was drafted to Raw. I gave them a very honest, heartfelt answer. They decided not to post the footage because I appeared to be angry. I was angry. I still am. Round 3. Looks like I still have lots to prove. Also, apparently Samoa Joe was like a highlight of Friday night.
So one thing I am going to... It's really starting to look like the tag team division is going to be a little weird. So in the 4th round, I believe it was. Yes, in the 4th round, it was mostly tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
Viking Raiders staying on Raw, Lucha House Party going to SmackDown, Nikki Cross staying on Raw, Heavy Machinery staying on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Street Profits were pulled up, have been called up, and now they are on Raw.
Yeah, I saw that. Which, good for them.
Raw is going to be very tag team heavy.
What is happening? I was actually like, I'm on our Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and I just went to go like pull something up because I saw we got tagged in something, and MJF shaking his booty
Okay.
on Brandy's Instagram.
Okay, then.
I don't know. I don't understand what's happening. Okay, then.
But I digress. Let's go to the main event of Raw, or SmackDown, rather. For the main event was Charlotte versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Bayley comes out.
As I said.
She's wearing a wig. A brown-haired wig.
Mm-hmm.
She pulls it off to reveal that she cut her hair short into
And
a
it's
little
darker.
bob.
And it's darker.
Almost black. And then she picks up a stick with blades on it, and she proceeds to murder the Bayley buddies.
Yeah, as I just said.
Outright murdered the Bayley buddies.
Yes. It was murder. It was capital murder. Jesus.
There is no longer a happy-go-lucky Bayley.
The other thing that was kind of neat that was pointed out to both of us was that she was wearing the same colors as Macho Man was when he turned heel. And Charlotte was wearing
the same colors as Ric Flair, and Ric Flair was Macho Man's opponent.
Mm-hmm. I know. Which is very cute. And I'm, like, completely fine with that. That's adorable.
Yes.
Somebody did point out that Bayley's gear is very reminiscent of Deonna Purrazzo, though. Like, that gear. And she did take a little bit of heat on Twitter for that.
No, not Deonna Purrazzo. Tessa
Blanchard. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which, okay, guys, here's my thing. Have you looked at, like, all of the wrestlers in AEW? Every third person is wearing neon fucking green. So, like, there's only so many color schemes, apparently, that can be utilized in pro wrestling. I could do without, like, the Mountain Dew shades that everybody's wearing in that promotion. I don't understand. You have a million color schemes you can choose from. That is, like, the worst possible option.
So, Bayley rolls up Charlotte and manages to regain the SmackDown Women's title. I'm okay with it, honestly. I saw a lot of people pissed. Why bother having it change hands anyway? Again, we'll tell you the same thing we've been telling you for 2 years. The story of Charlotte is she is going to beat her father's record.
Yeah.
And she's going to do it in rapid time.
It's become very clear that is definitely going to be the WWE's focus with Charlotte Flair, is to just continually give her the belt because they want her to outdo the record. At the end of the day, fine. Like, I love Charlotte. It would be one thing if she was like a lousy wrestler, but she's not. She's fantastic. So to me, like, as much as, yes, the part that frustrates me is I do think that they could be giving those opportunities to other women who are very deserving.
Yeah, I mean, and they unfortunately sacrificed a big woman star to Charlotte for this story in Asuka. They sacrificed Asuka's monster role as undefeated by having her lose to Charlotte for the title.
Yeah.
And it was like, ugh.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to say that, like, we're, in the grand scheme of things from a story perspective, all I'm saying is, like, I understand it. I get it. Do I think it's a silly choice sometimes? Yes. But, like, in the grand scheme, I'm fine with that narrative. I'm fine that that's what they kind of want to do. It is what it is. I just wish that they would take that time and give those opportunities to other wrestlers who are very deserving.
Bayley, good luck. Interested to see how this is going to go.
I'm excited to actually see
Yeah.
what happens with her. I've wanted Bayley to kind of like change her gimmick up for a long time. So I'm into it. I think it's a good look. I will be interested to see if she has different music after this.
Yes, apparently that has already been shown at a house show this weekend. Apparently there is video of the new entrance music, but we will watch that after we're done recording.
I was going to say, I'm going to have to try and find that because that sounds absolutely fascinating. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you happy with Bayley's heel turn? Do you think it's the wrong move? Do you think it's a good move? Let us know. I'd really love to hear some of your thoughts on this one.
Moving on to a follow-up story. So we had talked about how the Squared Circle Sirens had reported that Shotzi Blackheart had been signed to do NXT, and that Shotzi had said, that's news to me. Well, apparently she was throwing everybody off because at the Evolve show, Evolve 137 in Atlanta, William Regal showed up and presented Shotzi Blackheart with a contract for NXT that she accepted.
Good for her, though.
Yes.
Like, she is going to be so fun in NXT. Matches with her and Mia Yim are worth the price of admission alone, in my opinion. She's absolutely amazing. She's super fun to watch. I think she's as long as they don't make her like change her gimmick too much, because I like what she is. You know what I mean? And I have a hard time reimagining that. I think for a lot of us that are into the indies, we're going to have a hard time reimagining anything with her. But I think if this is what she wants to be doing, absolutely tremendous. And she's going to blow everybody away. She's fantastic. She's super fun. She's a rad human. And I'm excited to see how she does in NXT. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it as well. I really enjoyed her stuff on the indies, so it'll be interesting to see what she does.
So congrats to Shotzi.
Yes, absolutely. And add that to Scarlett Bordeaux, still rumored to be signed.
Yeah.
If not, definitely signed.
So
to
we
NXT.
hear.
So.
It's like, it's interesting though, because like, there's so many people that are just getting snatched up by NXT and AEW and Impact.
Yeah.
Like, it's some cutthroat shit going on out there right now. It's really fascinating to watch, honestly. Interesting.
So one more quick note, just because we talk about them. Not that I think it's going to matter much, but there was the ratings for SmackDown for Friday night, and there was a hit. They were down 25% from their premiere episode.
Wow. They
dropped to 3.88 million viewers. Oh, wait, no. They were at 3.88. They had 2.899 this week.
Wow.
Raw had 2.334, so it still beat Raw. So SmackDown was still the number one rated show for wrestling this past week, followed by Raw as number 2, AEW was number 3, NXT was number 4.
All right, then. No real surprises there, though.
I don't know that I really have any more. Well, yeah, I do. So...
I don't know where you're going with this, because you were like, no, we're not. No, we're not.
Let's have a talk about Chad Gable.
Okay.
So Chad Gable has been saddled with the nickname Shorty Gable. So much so that the commentators are calling him Shorty Gable. Vince McMahon's high school level humor is really starting to get old.
Oh, it's been old with me for a long ass time. I'm never a fan of those kind of... I just don't like it. I think it's unoriginal, it's uncreative, and it's just stupid.
Chad Gable is one of the best wrestlers they have.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He is an amazing technical wrestler. Why are they doing this to him?
Why are they doing half of the things that they do to their talent? I'm not defending it. I completely agree with you. This is one of my biggest problems with the WWE is I feel like they take this kind of approach that is so infantile and elementary school. It's just boring. It's the same kind of unoriginal crap that I criticize dudes on the indies for. Like, if you're gonna be boring enough to come out and be like, shut your mouth, eat a fucking Twinkie. Like, and I feel bad pointing that out because I actually really like the wrestler that once told me that.
Yeah.
And he's been a lot better about that shit since, because I'm pretty sure it got back to him. And like, honestly, I'll call it out if I see it. I'm like, you're an original. That's boring. I find the WWE has this like weird thing where they are stuck on the trope of like basically bullying as a heel tactic, which is a weird choice given the whole be a star thing.
Yeah.
It's just every time that happens, I'm like, hey, Rich, be a star. It's so awkward. Like, I hate their fat shaming narratives. I think they're stupid and archaic and idiotic, and I hate picking on people's body types. I hate picking on people's backgrounds. And I've had people like kind of come at me for this because they're like, well, then what the fuck are they supposed to make fun of? Like, that's the whole point. Be original.
Creative.
Be creative about it. Be super creative about it. The best heels are the ones that don't rely on those tropes once in a while. If you make one of those comments once in a great while, right? Mm-hmm. Like, just for shits and giggles, let's examine, like, your top 3 heel wrestlers ever, right? Like, heels. I know. I'm putting you on the spot because, like, I gotta really think about it. Because, like, one of them, there's a photo of right behind me. Because I can absolutely tell you, and this is not just me being, like, blowing smoke up your ass, Darren Corbin is one of my favorite heels of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
When he runs heel, he's fan-fucking-tastic. He does heel better than some guys that have been with the WWE for eons that are, like, marked heels. He's great. The fact that there is now a t-shirt that has his whole, he comes out and he'll say, if everybody could just shut the fuck up for 1 second.
Yes. Right?
Like, there's a t-shirt that now says that, which also, will I be buying like 3 of them?
Yes.
Yes. Just for me. Because I will modify them in various ways. But, like, he doesn't rely on those, like, he'll make fun of people in a town. Fine.
He'll
like,
heckle back if he's being heckled.
Yeah, if he's being heckled. Oh, and he's good because he's quick on his, like, his noggin's a quick thinker. Like, he's very quippy. He's very sarcastic. And he doesn't rely on those tropey things very often. Like, I personally think he goes about it in a pretty creative way. And not to say that, like, there's not an occasional, like, you know, shut the fuck up and, you know, like something, like every heel is going to do that from time to time. But when it's a constant thing, it's boring to me. It's like, get the fuck over it.
Honestly, I think some of the best heel work are heels that don't even talk really.
Yeah, like the ones that are just like super quiet.
Minoru Suzuki.
Oh my God.
He doesn't talk a lot.
No, he doesn't need to. He's fucking terrifying.
You know,
if he talks, like, you're almost worse off.
Undertaker when he first premiered.
Original Kane.
Original Kane.
Oh God, I should not have said that. Zumi's never gonna let me live it down. Motherfucker. I just ruined my own thing.
I mean, excellent heel. Braun Strowman originally.
Yeah, Braun was super fun for a long time.
Eric Rowan and, I mean, they didn't talk a lot.
No.
They were good heels without having to rely on fat jokes. So why? I just...
It's crazy to me. Like, I don't understand. Here's my problem. Like, at the end of the day, here's the crew of the thing. I hate falling on the "but this is always the way it's been done" moniker for anything in wrestling.
Yeah.
I feel like anything. I mean, if I want to get philosophical about it, because you and I had a really long conversation about art last week and about what is art and what makes art. These are I'm not exaggerating. These are the conversations we actually fucking have. Because it started with the whole Scorsese blowing smoke out his ass BS. And, like, my dad's a film historian as a hobby. So I grew up appreciating cinema and all of its facets. So we had this whole conversation about, like, you know, how I think Scorsese's wrong. And we could do a whole podcast just on that. But we were having this conversation about, like, art and what is art and is it subjective and, like, what is the crew of art? What is at the core of art? And, like, ultimately, like, wrestling to us always comes down, not to sound like Colt fucking Cabana, but, like, wrestling is art to us.
It absolutely is.
He's not wrong. Like, he has always said it's art, and Colt knows what he's talking about. He knows his shit. It's art. You know what I mean? And I get that art is subjective. I truly think that. In all ways. But, like, art should constantly evolve. It should always change. It should always strive to be something different. And that change should instill some kind of reaction in people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to use my perfect example that I used with you, right? I almost went to school for animation. I'm super passionate about animation. I always have been. It's one of my favorite hobbies. It's something I love. I follow the careers of many animators and writers to this day because it's an industry that I've always felt very connected to. When Pixar came on the scene, I was super bitter. I was pissed. I pissed and moaned and dragged their name, and I was like, they're killing hand-drawn animation. They're gonna kill an industry. It's just gonna be gone. It's never gonna be the same. It's gonna be murdered. Blah 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 blah. Right? Now, ultimately, was I right? Kinda, because like hand-drawn animation in some ways did die. But here's my thing: years later, I would eat those words because there's not a single Pixar movie that I've ever watched that didn't move me just as much, if not more so, as the classics. Their movies are high art, but they are evolved. They are something different. There's something changed. And it doesn't mean that like the work and methodology is any different. If anything, I think Pixar's work and methodology is almost harder in some instances as a studio. So like, if you ask me if I think art should change, like, did you ask me when I was younger? No, because, like, the change was scary and I felt like it was threatening something I truly loved and truly felt super connected and passionate about. And then years later, I could sit here and go, like, last night we watched Toy Story 4, which, like, even I was like, oh, God, why? The third one was so perfect. They keep outdoing themselves. Yeah. It was so good. So, like, it's just a good reminder to me to, like, look at, the rain and the water in the beginning of that movie. And I was like, God, remember when they couldn't even do that? Art changes and art evolves. And when you let art change and evolve, it just gets better. When you don't rely on the way that it's always fucking been done, it just gets better. Wrestling is the same way. I've literally never drawn a connection to like Pixar and wrestling. This is kind of new. But it's true. Like, it is true. Art should evolve. And I think professional wrestling needs to continue to evolve and be allowed to change and grow and become something better and different. And it doesn't mean it's not going to be just as enjoyable. It just means people need to let the old shit go and embrace some change.
Yep. No, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move on. Mm-hmm. We have news on Byron Saxton.
Oh, thank goodness.
Byron
You told me this
morning,
and I was like, well, thank God.
Byron Saxton is still employed. Byron Saxton is now doing 205 Live, I believe is what it was.
Main event.
No, main event. That's
main
right.
Event.
Is now a permanent member of WWE's main event commentary team. Last week, Saxton called the episode with Dio Madden and Mickey James, who is currently on commentary for main event.
Well, then.
Well, Mickey James is injured. Mm-hmm. So has not been able to wrestle, so they've given her something to do, though, which is awesome.
Cool.
And, hey, another female voice on the mics. Great.
I know people feel some kind of way about Mickey lately. I'm not weighing in on that because I'm not educated enough to know the whole story just yet. I'm sure some of you are waiting for me to drop a truth bomb on it. When I have an opportunity to dig a little bit, I will let you know. I have not had that chance.
I don't even know the rumors.
Yeah, there's like a lot of people on my feed are like to some people she's pretty canceled right now. I don't know the whole story. I don't know what it is, so I don't want to talk about it fully. But
well,
I know some people
she's married to Nick Aldis, so
yeah, probably part of it
might have something to do with it.
I think it might have had something to do with her like defending him or something. I don't want to like speak to it because I haven't researched it, but
oh well.
Yeah, it is what it is. I will research that and I will weigh in on it. But if you know something and you want to send me some links, go for it. Hit me up. Slide on into my DMs. But yeah, I'm glad Byron's still around. I like Byron Saxton. He gets so much flack, and I like the guy. I think he does a great job. He has like the excited puppy dog thing going, kind of like Cole used to way back in the day. But he's like, it's less annoying. I find him fun. I like him a lot.
Let's see what else we had. We had a title change at Ring of Honor.
Ooh.
Yes, Glory by Honor in New Orleans. There was a title change. Your new Women of Honor champion for the third time, Kelly Klein.
Ooh. That's a good choice, though. I'm fine with that.
Defeated Angelina Love for the Women of Honor World Championship.
I got excited for a minute. I thought you were going to say Sumi.
No.
No, Sumi Sakai. I like Kelly, though. I like Kelly Klein. She's good.
I am super excited about that.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good choice.
PCO won the Glory by Honor tournament. And Silas Young won the Battle Royal and will get a shot at the Ring of Honor World title because of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the shadiest answer I've had all day. Okay.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm sassy. It's all the sugar.
That was the only title change, so...
Alright, then. It's been kind of a quiet weekend, other than, like, you know... Japan basically, like...
Flooding
and erupting, and... Wasn't there a volcano eruption in Japan, too?
Yeah, in, like, northern Japan, I believe, there was a volcano eruption as well.
I saw, like, 40 tweets that were like, someone woke up Mothra. Like...
So, Cain Velasquez is going to be wrestling Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel for the WWE title.
You can't see it through your headphones, but I am eye-rolling so hard right now.
Now, apparently, Cain Velasquez is actually training at the Performance Center, though.
Good. Good for him.
So, that's kind of nice to see.
And that's not like me being shitty. Like, honestly, good for him. I think he should be.
And we're probably going to be saddled with Cain Velasquez for a while because he retired from MMA. And rumor is he is going to be signing a fat contract with WWE. So we have yet another part-timer MMA who's going to be taking up precious TV time from the talents who have been training for this their whole lives.
Yeah. And here's, like, I guess that's my big problem, is every time they sign someone that's, you know, formerly UFC or formerly an MMA fighter or, you know, something, whatever the case may be, I just feel like it winds up being very underwhelming. And that's not to say, okay, I hate to do this, but, like, I do have to give some props because at least Rhonda did a pretty good job of, like, building her attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her promo stuff that she was doing wasn't the greatest, but, like, when her expression work was fantastic. And she did a really good job in some instances. And it's not like her matches were terrible.
No.
They weren't bad at all. It was kind of underwhelming to me. Like, it was fine. It was fine. It was just a thing. It was fine. It wasn't that bad. Her makeup was terrible. But it was still not let it go. But, like, it was just underwhelming to me. I feel like anytime they bring someone over from UFC, that's how I feel. It's just like, meh.
Well, they're trying to pull a new audience in,
Totally.
apparently, and I get it.
I get it. And you know what? It's probably going to work.
Temporarily.
But you know what? That's all they care about. Like, because,
No, that's not what they care about. They need their numbers to go up and stay up. And that's the problem. They pull these gimmicks, they go up, and then they're back to where they were the next week.
And then they pull another random gimmick out of their butts.
And it doesn't work.
It's just like a constant cycle.
Yeah, it's like, wow, a one-time ratings boost, and then back to garbage.
I think I'm extra frustrated because, like, there's so much potential in the WWE to be doing some really dope stuff right now. And I feel like they're just, like, they're missing it.
Yeah.
It's like they're like a puppy that just has ADD, and, like, they could go get a really good treat, right? But they're too busy being like, squirrel, to fucking pay attention. I don't know.
Well, and I suppose the last story for the day, we're going to do one more follow-up. The Jeff Hardy story.
Oh, is there more?
Oh, there's more.
Oh, God.
Apparently, Jeff Hardy's wife and Rebby Hardy got into it with each other on Twitter.
Because that's a good look.
Yeah, so,
Family passions run hard.
yeah.
I'm assuming Rebby was being critical.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Because she's savage.
Well, because I guess it originally stemmed from Matt Hardy tweeting, since so many have asked me about my brother, I love my brother and want him to be happy and healthy. I've expressed that to him as much as I can. Jeff has to make his decisions about his life. I have to focus on my 2 boys and soon-to-arrive son. I can only control my actions.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Beth Hardy, so Jeff's wife, went on and said, kept my mouth shut for too long. Don't take any info seriously from quote-unquote family when it comes to me or Jeff. Quote-unquote family quotes are BS. Family should have contacted us before they made a statement to Twitter. Looks like they're more worried about their online presence than Jeff. Jeff and I are handling our business, hence no post from either of us about what happened. Going forward, if you don't hear it from us, disregard it. We don't need any well wishes from family.
Wow. Okay.
And then Rebby got on there. No matter how much you dislike him, Matt is still his brother. Here long before your ass and his family, not quote-unquote family, period. Any statements from Matt about Jeff don't need your approval. It ain't about you. I know it kills you to have anyone acknowledge that the facade of a perfect life you try to maintain is a fucking joke, but not everyone thinks the sun shines out of your asses, Beth, and not everyone wants to be complicit in your protecting and enabling of a man who is well on his way to killing himself or someone else.
Here's my thing, though. I hate when this kind of shit winds up.
It doesn't need to be public.
It doesn't need to be public.
But that is one of the downsides to Rebby Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Rebby is extremely outspoken.
She is. And I mean, I respect her for it to some degree.
Yeah.
Like, at least, I can't fault... I live in a giant glass house when it comes to that shit. But, like, when it comes to personal stuff, I don't, like... Like, if you and I have a knockdown, drag-out disagreement about something, like sleep on the couch level, irritated type shit, I don't go to Twitter and be like, my husband and I had a shitty fucking argument. We had to, like, stop this thing and, like, start over, like, 2 hours. Like I'm never gonna do that shit.
Yeah.
Because that's ridiculous. Like, it doesn't have to be said.
No.
You know? Or, like, you're not gonna do the same thing and be like, I'm so fucking pissed at her, and, like, she did this, and da-da-da-da-da, and family, and, like, tag my family members in it. Like, who does that? Who does that? Family drama is the worst. Family drama sucks.
I don't see what Matt tweeted as being
I don't either.
Problem
No.
at all.
No, not at all.
Matt is tied to Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
He always will be tied to Jeff. And people were asking Matt about his brother. And Matt's like, look, it's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's true. Now, Jeff does need help.
Yes, absolutely.
But we are not a part of that family.
No.
We do not know how often Matt has tried to help Jeff, and Jeff is just blowing off that help.
Mm-hmm. We are not privy to the circumstances around this situation. And because of that, I don't think fans need to be looped in on any of this. Like, we don't need to know shit.
I grew up in a family of alcoholics.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, we tried to get help, and they just wouldn't take it. They didn't want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You can only do so much.
Yeah.
If they're not going to help themselves, you cannot make them.
There are many diseases like that. Like, alcoholism is like that, and any substance abuse is like that. Mental issues are often like that as well, which are compounded with the other two. I mean, look at my circumstance, you know? It's very similar. And you kind of get to a point where it's like you do have to do what's best for you.
Yes.
But, like, yeah, it's this kind of stuff is so fucking hard. Because I'll be honest with you, like, I'm the worst person to have conversations about this stuff with, because, like, whereas some people be like, well, you only have one brother, or you only have one parent, or, you know, you only have one mom, like, something like that. I don't buy into that, because I feel like if a relationship is too toxic, there's nothing wrong with walking away for your own mental health, right? So, like, I think of that, and, like, we don't know where Matt's at. Well, no, I'm saying, like, if Matt is at that point where, like, he just kind of wants to, not help or, like, walk away for his own...
And it's also interesting because Matt is still sober.
Mm-hmm.
Matt had substance abuse problems for a long time, too.
And he had said at one point that, like, he almost, like, walked away from Jeff and was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. Like, I need to focus on me. So, like, I noticed some people are criticizing him for not, like, showing up and demanding, like, no, you're doing this and you're doing that. Like, you get to a point where you have to handle your own shit first. Like, you have to put yourself first.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to put your own mental health and your own well-being and the well-being of your family before anything else. It's tough. It's, like, such a tough topic. Like, I don't know. I just really hope... I really, really, really hope that he gets the help that he needs. And I really hope that they stop, like, dragging this shit onto Twitter, because it's a bad look. And it's not helping anybody. Oh, how am I, like, cold and warm at the same time? I don't understand my body sometimes.
So...
Anything else?
Not really.
Like I said, it's been a really low-key few days.
Yeah, it has.
There hasn't been a whole lot.
We got preview, I guess, for this week coming up here.
Yeah.
So, AEW on Wednesday, we will have a championship match of Darby Allin versus Chris Jericho. And I believe also we are getting Riho versus Britt Baker.
I'm into that.
And
that's going to be good.
Not sure what we're getting for NXT yet.
Yeah.
I don't think any announcements have been made for NXT matches.
Well, we will find out, because I think Wednesday we're going to try and watch both shows again. So we will see what happens.
And we didn't do questions today.
Nope.
So.
No, because I was outside sweeping and breaking down 1 million boxes.
Yes.
With a box cutter that desperately needs a new blade.
So, yeah, I think that'll probably call this a show.
Cool. Well, guys, remember, we upload new episodes every Monday and Friday. Feel free to make sure you like and you subscribe. Follow us on all the places we can be found, wherever great podcasts can be found. Hit us up on Twitter. Interact with us. Let us know your thoughts on the stuff we talked about. I know it was kind of a low-key episode and very chill. A lot of times our Monday episodes are pretty chill because we want to ease you into your week like beautiful, gentle babies. Hit us up on Twitter. We're at Married Marks. I am Smirky Betch with an E, not an I. Richard is
ONY_Draz, DRAZZ.
And you can hit us up via email, marriedmarkspod@gmail.com.
So, for the Married Marks, I'm Richard Townsend.
I'm Shannon Townsend.
And we will talk to you on Friday.
Make good choices.